Hi everyone, I Manav Bhardwaj. Welcome you in today's video. In this video, I am going to introduce economics to you guys. I will cover meaning of economy, types of economies, meaning of economics, subject matter of economics, nature of economics, positive versus normative economics, branches of economics, and at last, major economists. You all are watching Economicsify, and let's get into the video. Before I tell you guys about economics, it is important that you should know little about an economy. So let's go through its meaning. I have taken its meaning from famous websites. You can go and check them out. First of all, the system of trade and industry by which the wealth of a country is made and used. This was as per Cambridge Dictionary. Second comes an economy is a complex system of interrelated production, consumption, and exchange activities that ultimately determines how resources are allocated along the participants. An economy may represent a nation, a region, a single industry, or even a family. Next is an economy is an area of the production, distribution, and trade, as well as consumption of goods and services. This is as per Wikipedia. In simple words, economy is a system by which people of an area earn their living. Moving further to types of economies. There are basically three types of economies. Number one, controlled economy. Number two, free economy. And number three, mixed economy. Let's discuss them in some detail. Controlled economies are those economies where the economic activities are firmly controlled by the government or some central authority. Free economies are those economies where the economic activities are controlled by the market forces, whereas mixed economies are those economies where the economic activities are governed by the free play of the market forces but are regulated by the government. Main motive behind economic decisions in controlled economies is of social welfare. In free economies, economic decisions are driven by the motive of profit maximization, whereas in mixed economies, decisions are driven by the motive of both profit maximization and social welfare. Consumer is not so virtual in controlled economies, whereas consumer is so virtual in both free economy and mixed economy. Economic activities are dominated by public sector in controlled economies, whereas by private sector in free economies. And if we talk about mixed economies, both public sector and private sector dominate in the economic activity. Controlled economies are also known as centrally planned economies. Likewise, free economies are also known as market economies. Now, let's understand economics. I'm gonna begin with meaning of economics. Economics is a social science that focuses on the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services, and analyzes the choices that individuals, businesses, governments, and nations make to allocate resources. This is as per Investopedia.com. Economics is the study in which the way of trade, industry, or money is organized. This is as per Cambridge Dictionary. Economics is a social science that seeks to analyze and describe the production, distribution, and consumption of wealth. This is as per Britannica.com. In simple words, economics is the study of how people allocate scarce resources for production, distribution, and consumption, both individually and collectively. Moving further to subject matter of economics, there are three concepts for it. First is wealth concept, second is welfare concept, and third is scarcity concept. Now, question arises, what are these concepts? So, if I start with wealth concept, Adam Smith is the chief economist of classicals. His followers considered economics as science of wealth. Then comes welfare concept. Professor Marshall and Pigou gave main plan to human welfare over wealth. They made clear that wealth is for man and man is not for wealth. And at last comes scarcity concept. Scarcity concept is the gift of Professor Robbins to economics. According to him, in economics, those persons are studied who are surrounded with the problem of selection. I, I hope you would have understood the subject matter of economics. Moving further towards nature of economics. If I tell you about it, there are basically three parts of it. First is science, second is arts, and third is both science and arts. Let's discuss them in brief. What is science? Please write your views below in the comment section. Organized knowledge of any subject is known as science. Now, you guys would think that how economics is a science. Let me give you some points which will definitely favor it. So, the first is systematic study, second is creation of principles, third is scientific method, and the fourth is universal truth. As every aspect has both favoring points and against points. Economics, as a science, also has some points which are against it. These are number one, different views of economists. Number two, economic laws are less enact. That means study of man, less possibility of experiments, and study of human behavior. And the last point is change in statistics. Now question arises, what is arts? To do any work in an excellent manner is an art. Points in favor of economics as art are number one, cannot disassociate from ethics. Number two, Maximum problems are purely economic. Number three, solution of practical problems. Number four, pure economic activities. And number five, practical economics. Likewise, economics as a science has some points which were against it. Economics as an art also has some points which are against it. These are number one, different nature. Number two, nature of economic problem for scientific nature. And the last is it is not helpful in definite conclusions. At the end, I would just say that practical knowledge is also essential along with theoretical knowledge. This condition is applicable in economics. Mere knowledge of economic principles is not sufficient, but principles should be practical as well. This implies that economics is both science and art. Now comes the turn of difference between positive and normative economics. So let's begin with it. Positive economics deals with economic issues related to past, present, and future, whereas normative economics deals with opinions of the economists related to economic issues or economic problems. Statements of positive economics relate to what was, what is, and what would be. Statements of normative economists relate to what ought to be. The statements of positive economics are not necessarily the statements of truth. These may be true or false, whereas the statements of normative economics cannot be termed as true or false. These statements involve opinions only. For example, somebody says population of India is more than the population of China. It is definitely a positive statement because one can verify it. If somebody says that old age pensions should be stopped, it's just an opinion. Facts and figures are verifiable for truth in case of positive economics, whereas these are not verifiable at all in case of normative economics. Positive economics does not involve value judgment, whereas normative economics involves value judgment. I hope you would have understood the main idea behind the two. Now comes branches of economics into the picture. Ragnar Frisch has divided economics in two parts in 1933. They are number one, microeconomics, and number two, macroeconomics. Frisch was a Norwegian economist. The term microeconomics came from a Greek word, micros, which means small or minor. Whereas if we talk about the term macroeconomics, it has also come from Greek word that is macro, which means large. To keep it simple and clear, you can remember it as in micro, I will denote an individual, whereas in macro, A will denote aggregate. Now let me tell you guys about their components, starting with microeconomics. There are basically three components of it. They are number one, theory of consumer behavior, number two, theory of producer behavior, and number three, theory of price. Next comes components of macroeconomics. They are theory related to equilibrium in the economy, theory related to disequilibrium in the economy, and theory related to the correction of disequilibrium in the economy. Moving further towards the last topic of the video, that is major economists. In this video, I'm just gonna show a list of them because it's a very large concept. It is that much large that there can be a separate playlist for it. And yes, please write down the name of some economists that you know and you have heard below in the comment section. Let's begin. First comes Acharya Chanakya from ancient times. Second comes Thomas Mun, J.B. Colbert, Sir William Petty, etc., who are known as mercantilists. Third comes Kane and Turgot, who are physiocrats. After them, all the economists are of modern times. Okay, can you guys tell me the name of the economist who is known to be the father of modern economics? Please write it below down in the comment section. I'm gonna give answer to this question at the end of the video. Moving further towards classicals and famous names are Adam Smith, Ricardo, Malthus, Say, and Mel. Fifth comes Simon, Proudhon, and very famous Karl Marx, who are socialists. Sixth comes Jevons, Menger, Edgeworth, Clark, etc., who came to be known as marginalists. Seventh comes Alfred Marshall, Wicksell, Fisher, Chamberlain, and Robinson, who are known as neoclassicals. And eighth comes Lord Keynes, Samuelson as Keynesian, and the list of names goes on. Now, the time comes for the answer of the question which I have asked you guys before in the video, that was of modern economics. And the answer for it is Adam Smith. He was an Scottish economist. His best piece of work was an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nations, published in 1776. Thank you for watching the video till the end. Please subscribe my channel and don't forget to like and share the video. I will meet you guys in the next video. Till then, bye bye and stay safe.